a small talk is about the constraint escalation from PS to constraint. So just to have a couple of slides, strategic stepwise increase in the structural restriction of the joint motion within an implant to address the instability. Though this topic covers everything, you know, CR, AS, PS, CPS, CCK, but I was supposed to talk from PS to CCK. So why we are doing it? It is required to balance the ligament instability, aiming to restore a stable joint in coronal and sagittal planes. I'm not going to go into the detail of the designs. These are the unconstrained knees that everybody else is also, and including us, we are doing it. The CR design, just the right side is the, on your left side is the routine one, and the other side is the deep dish. And the advantages of the CR, I'm not going to go into it. And then there is the PS design. Obviously, we know the box cut is there, the post and cam mechanism is there. So this PS design is also really helpful. So CR, there is no visualization of the box. The radiograph on the PS shows that the cam can be visualized, and that's an outline. So no box, only pegs to help the fixation in this CR, but in that other one, the box is there. So then we talk about the constrained knee. So constrained knees are basically for the varus valgus constraint. Maybe the indications are LCL attenuation or deficiency, MCL attenuation or deficiency, flexion gap instability, which is more than 4 to 5 mm, and moderate bone loss. So constrained knee designs have a lot of advantages in the coronal stability of the patient, and disadvantages that you have to take out a lot of femur. So there is a high rate of aseptic loosening, and the risk of the poly wear is a lot, and the fracture of the big thick cam post is also a lot if you have not really balanced it well. And highly constrained I'm not going to talk about because they are the RH case. So we have covered the spectrum of the constraints. It's CR, PS, constraint posterior stabilized, constraint condylar knee, rotating hinge. So what are the indications? Which are the important things? The incompetent collateral ligaments, severe deformity, more than 20-30 degrees of varus valgus with a deep defect, more than 10 mm, which are unmanageable by a conventional soft tissue balance, and a severe flexion extension mismatch, or a AORI type 2 or type 3 bone loss, or a revision TKR with a revision failed component. So surgical considerations, implant designs, we have to use load sharing stems. So CCK implants have larger, more engaging tibial post and higher conformity. Bone removal is more if you are going for a CCK from PS, more bone resection is there. So risks and outcomes are there, increased polywear, low survivorship, and the range of motion may not be hampered. Other options, in addition to higher constraint implants, are sleeves, cones. Sir has talked about it. So in my practice, the most common thing for why I escalate from PS to CCK is infection and instability, these two things. Less commonly intraop decision over the years as I'm trying to mature up in this plasty. So how to escalate? I think intraoperative decision making, stress testing, gap assessment. Conversion from PS to CCK requires again preparing of your femur. You have to deeper your intercondylar box, and you have to resect more femurs, so you have to be careful. And your tibial post requires a taller poly post to provide varus valgus stability. Stem extensions are very important when you are doing from PS to CCK because you have to mitigate the high stresses. So on table switching, some systems allow it, some don't. So be sure when you are posting which patient with a lot of clinical examination pre-operatively. Progression to a hinge implant if there is gross global instability. So intra parameters for me are simple 3 scenarios. Scenario number 1, if the on trial examination extension is okay but mid-flexion flexion instability is more than 3 to 5 mm, then CPS, constraint poly of the PS. Scenario 2 is a gross instability, deficient collaterals, then LCCK or a CCK. And scenario 3, if it's total loss of collateral type 3, type 4 kind of AORIs, then RH case. So TKR failure is a big reality in 2026, we have to accept it. And the main things are infection and instability. Why knees fail, I'm not going to go into the details. There are a lot of landmark papers from Lombardi on this. The issues of constraint is general principle is if the MCL is competent, use a PS option if you're a PS surgeon with a plus minus stem extension, or a constrained PS. If the MCL is compromised little bit, it is obviously overstretched, you can use the LCCK, but if it's a gross global instability, you have a good clinical examination, good radiographs, everything you have seen pre-op of the patient, then you have to keep a RHK ready. So few examples where I've escalated, it encompasses aseptic loosening, septic loosening, post-TKR bone loss, big bone defects, and morbid obesity. So all spectrums are played up, I'll try to be quick. This decision making, now see on your left side, it's in full extension, it is absolutely balanced. But when you flex this PS, it is coming out a bit. So if you don't want to go higher on the number, so if it's a 9 poly, if you don't want to go on 11 and get your extension tight and want to release the posterior capsule, what you can do is you can shift to a constrained PS poly. After putting a constrained PS poly, the flexion instability goes away. That is the most important thing. That is why you should have a constrained kind of a PS poly with you if you're a PS surgeon. So these are the comparisons on the left side as you can see, and on the right side you can see a shorter, thicker, wider poly. So I have to move on quickly with the cases. Case 1, it's a 6-year post TKR undiagnosed mechanical instability. As you see the case, there is nothing wrong with the X-rays, very well done knee, 6 years, but the patient had mechanical certain instability. So when we did pre-op testing, and what we realized was, once we were testing her before the surgery, she was opening up after the anesthesia. So 6 years she living with it, she has a instability, but what was the clinching of the diagnosis was this, and then the posterior buckling that you will see, like this. So this was not happening before I was examining her. So these are important things, these are subtle mechanical instability. So we went in, the post of the poly had broken off, and even the 17 mm of the normal primary knee was not fitting in. So here you escalate. So I removed everything, it was a broken post of the poly. So we went in with a Zimmer LCCK with a screw lock mechanism. I'm not going to show all the videos, but just this is the post-op stability. If sir would allow me 1 minute more, I'll show a couple of more cases. And this is the stability that you get later on. So this is very important. So we did an LCCK, and this is a 3-year follow-up. She's bending well, she's doing well. I'm not going to show all the clinical videos. Another case, 6-year-old lady, right side TKR done 8 years back, gradual onset of pain medially, and it has gone down for subsidence. So we keep everything ready with a CPS and everything, but we ended up doing a conversion of the PS into an LCCK. So these are the cases where you are going to get all these problems. So 5-year follow-up of her, excellent clinical outcome with an LCCK of the Zimmer. She's walking well, not going to show the video. Another case, super obesity, 55-year-old lady. This is the presentation, lateral laxity present from day 1. This is the patient superly obese. So when you are operating these kind of patients, you have to be a little more tight. If you are tight, then you are good. If you are too loose, you are bad. So this is what the patient was happening. But in this case, the plan changed. We went intra-op. It came out to be subclinical infection. We had an idea about it, and we removed everything. And after about a cooling off holiday period of 10 to 12 weeks, we did again a Zimmer LCCK for her. And again, the shifting was from PS to CCK, just 30 seconds. So 6 months, left side intra-op challenges are not going to go. It was an obese patient. It was a 4-year follow-up of the lady. So this kind of an obese patient comes, I just want to give the message, and this type of a lady comes to you, obese patients like these, you better have all the armamentarium with you, 130, 140 kgs. They have been operated already, and you have to do something for them. Just finishing off, last case, an MPK knee, very good poly. It has not gone away even after 14 years back, 14 years, right medial microport knee. After removal of the implants, we had to escalate from MPK to LCCK again because there was attenuation and deficiency. 3 weeks post-op, not showing everything. This is just last case with a deformity.
Thank you, Dr. Parhar.
Thank you so much. I think we are out of time.
Thank you very much, Dr. Parhar. Yeah. We will take up